Hey guys, about to do a draft on Magic Arena. This draft is Core Set 2020. This will be my first limited video on here, and I will be doing my absolute best, but it's worth noting that today is the actual hottest ever day in Britain, and British people are not famously good at coping with extremes of weather. We're actually famously bad at it, so if I punt left and right, you may have to forgive me. We have very fortunately opened a ridiculous mythic. It is a 4/6 with vigilance and comes with a free beast within. If you don't know what beast within is, it's an instant which is commonly played in older formats as a piece of like utility removal that replaces whatever you're terrified of with the vanilla 3/3. And when this dies, you also get an enchantment card back. So we will be trying to pair this. Obviously, we're taking this; it's busted. And we'll be trying to pair it with a something like a pacifism effect, some way of, you know, making use of an enchantment, or even, I'm not sure what's in this set. I'll have to faff around looking for something to take, but so it's like a reasonable tempo play to close games out. This figure's just great removal. I'm leaning towards that, although it's obviously not great with white. What have we got in white? Like a Squadron Hawk. Can see that being good if you get more than two. Is it better than removal? Probably not. And is Disfigure better than Shock? They're both instants, they both kill up to 2 toughness, but this can go to face, whereas this can deal with indestructible, which is not all that common, but might happen. It can also shrink things to save damage. I think I'm going to take Disfigure. Okay, so there's like a life exchange theme. Destroy target tapped creature, so more good removal. This card is great. Been hugely impressed with that, and blue-white flyers is a good archetype in the limited experience I have with this set. A flyer, I guess, is an option. I prefer. I think just to try and. I'm not sure this is much better than this, and obviously this is on colour with one of our first 2 picks, so I'm leaning towards that. Blood for Bones, if I remember rightly, is very strong. That is indeed very strong. So, buy back 2 things. It's a shame it's a sorcery, but it's probably the only reason it's close to reasonable. If it was an instant and you could do it in response to removal, it would be probably too strong. Unfortunately, black and white appear to be drying up a bit in this pack, but that doesn't mean it might have just been a pack that's light on those 2 colours. It doesn't mean we're getting cut for sure. Could speculate on some fixing. Don't really want a vanilla 3/2. Sorry, yeah, I should have figured this out. This is more removal, and removal is great, even if it is a bit conditional because it can only hit tapped stuff. So it's bad for. And it's a sorcery. It's not great then. I should read things fully before making my decisions. I do like to have like 1 equipment in limited decks. I find even the mopey ones are still great. Obviously that's a nice effect. We'll take that. It can go in any deck. Pretty versatile. When it ETBs, draw a card. Enchanted creature has flying. So it replaces itself, which is nice. A little bit like Curious Obsession in Standard. And it combos a little bit with our Cavalier if our creature dies. So I'm leaning towards that. Big bodies, we've got 2 already. Removal, and that is unconditional removal, whereas this is only for small things, and this is a bit mopey. This is tough. I think this is better. Decent 3 mana, decent body. This is basically counter a removal spell and scry 1 for 1 mana, so it's not bad. Nothing else jumping out at me. This is excellent with Blood for Bones and Bone Splinters. Lets us set up little loops where we can generate value. I think a 3 mana 3/2 is slightly less bad than a 1 mana 1/1. Might play that, but I doubt it. Oh, go away. As per usual, last few picks are a bit barren, but you come to expect that. There's no expectations from the last few. So if we're going to branch out, we could take the Temple or the Eagle, which are both half on colour and good cards. For what it's worth, if you pick up a Temple, it's worth playing over a Swamp anyway. The Scry is quite valuable. The Inspired Charge is a reasonable trick. I think I probably just want a 2 mana 2/2 with upside because we're light on 2 mana 2/2s. We don't have any. 5 mana 3/3 ETB. It deals damage to target opponent or planeswalker equal to the number of creatures you control. So that's basically it's a shame it doesn't hit creatures. It's a lot weaker, but it's probably fine. I honestly think I'm just going to take another one of these because we're light on 2-drops at the moment. Okay, it was good removal. I should have read the rest of the pack. That was a bit premature. I just saw removal that's on curve and on colour and picked it. So it doesn't have an ability to sack itself. You have to sack it to something, so I think that's quite bad. That's the same one we looked at earlier that works well with some of the other things we've got going on. Yeah, I'll try that. What does this do? Narrow. Take another Bone Splinters. Could do with picking up another Skeleton to pair with them. A 2 mana with a 2 mana creature with a half decent body that's also a mana sink is probably good enough. I like that one. That one is A, a source of card advantage, and B, pairs well with the War Chief, so that's nice. We'll take this time. And yeah, I guess it's in the deck for now, but we're looking to pick up something a bit better. Okay, that's a nice one, the Cutthroat. That's reminiscent of Nebraska's finisher from the last set. We'll pick that up, and if we get more, then it might make the cut. Okay. So Corpse Knight is an on-color gold card. It seems like a fairly safe pick for us here. I think we're just going to take that. And be grateful. Another skeleton to combo with our stuff. That goes great in our deck. That is really, really nice. Deck's starting to look quite decent. Pacifism is great. That's exactly what we are looking for. So we can probably start cutting the less strong cards. I don't know what that is or how it's in my deck. Oh, another War Chief is perfect. Don't think we want more skeletons, but actually it's possible, given that we've got the 2 bone splinters and the blood for bones. It's looking really good in this deck. And a 3rd bone splinters. Okay, yeah, we're good for removal at this point. Gauntlets of Light is... Do we have any creatures with super high toughness? Nothing stands out. I don't think I'm playing 4 skeletons. They're not terrible though. A 1/2 is a bit of an upgrade from a 1/1. I don't like playing 1-mana 1/1s if I can help it. I don't think I'm playing the gift here. All that. Take a dress. I was going to say for the sideboard, but we're playing best of 1, so it doesn't matter. Rule of Law, modern constructed playable. So this is I'd say a 17 land deck comfortably, so we've got 2 more cuts to make. All the 1-drops look fine. 2, 3. I'm not cutting any of those. That guy. There we go. I think that's the configuration I'm happiest with. I'm wondering, as I don't have any double black, whether I'd rather have an additional planes. How do you do the other view? There we go. So I'm going to submit that. I'm going to play some games, see how we do. Apologies if you can hear the fan in the background. I have a fan on because it's actually hotter than the sun, and yeah, nobody can cope. We're all melting and squealing and suffering. We appear to be playing against a sea beast, which is rather intimidating. And we have a mopey hand. I think that's an easy mulligan. This is far better. And we just put this guy on the bottom because we're quite far off. The Marauder's Axe is nice. It's a nice card to have in your hand when you've mulliganed, because it gives you a reasonable thing to do with your excess mana that you're bound to have. When you mulligan, you're obviously down a bit on resources at the best of times. We're doing okay though. We're one planes away from casting the Cavalier, and depending on what happens, you know, if opponent's mana base continues to develop as kind of badly as it has, we can even do something like use it to blow up their 1 green source, and you know, of course, I say it's developed badly. They've had 3 turns. They were bound to play 2 of one and 1 of another. But if we see no more signs, oh, this is a problem. Yeah, that went real bad for us. Well, the obvious thing to do now then is to blow up the Sentinel and get a 2 for 1. And their mana is perfect. So, what was I talking about? Yeah, we blow up the Sentinel. If they have a God's Willing, it's a bit bad. But downgrading a 4/4 with Vigilance for a to a 3/3 seems good to me. Yeah, I figured they might have a God's Willing. But trading a triggered ability for a card is good. You know, it's still fine. They can't attack into my 4/6. We can attack because we have Vigilance. So, oh, so we can't attack now because they'll just double block. I'm going to put the axe over here because now we've got 2 really good blockers, and I can start attacking with this next turn. Threatening to trade my 2-drop for either one of these is pretty heinous from their point of view. Although they might happily trade it for the Shaman, given that it draws a card when it dies. That makes some sense to me. It does free things up for us next turn though. Ah. Opponent appears to be that enchantment tribal. Not sure how I feel about that card. We really need to draw a non-land. Drawing 7 lands when you've already mulliganed is a bit sad. Although I don't think we're massively behind. I'd say the board is fairly even. I think if they attack with the Shaman, we probably double block. Oh, well. This is a very suspicious attack from the opponent. I think blocking like this leaves me the least likely to get punked out by a third one of these, which I suspect they have. Okay. We're quite dead. I'm not blocking because that has trample, and saving 2 damage is not worth losing the only thing I have. Well, okay. I don't think we're coming back from this. I think opponent's creature quality was just a bit higher than ours, but we're not. Oh, we are. No, we are just dead. I was going to say we're not dead on board. We can double block here and take 5, but that has trample, doesn't it? So, yeah, opponent is just letting us know that we were dead 8 different ways. Fair enough. Well, that was a fairly shitty start, but, you know, we've got 2 more losses to give, so hopefully we can win some games, maybe get to 7. 7 is obviously the target. That's literally how the game works. I don't know the format super well, so I can't claim to be necessarily doing it right. So I think we should play the Corpse Knight first, because we get a trigger now every time we play a creature. Perfect. So we're doing pretty good. We need to start drawing a couple lands, but I'm happy with the way things are going. That's fun. So you can pump your whole what's the word for a group of dogs? Pack. Your whole pack of dogs. This is like basically a free attack, because we're happy to trade and we are happy to just bounce and gain the 2 with lifelink. Opponent takes the trade. Not too bothered about that. Gonna play another one of these, get another drain in. Okay, so we take 2 in the air, presumably. It's annoying that that thing has vigilance. It's quite good defensively against me. Okay. No attacks. So, obviously, we would dearly love to get to 25 or more life to make that ability relevant. It is not out of the question we might get to... I'll take the bait. As a general rule, I like these blocks where you force them, because trading a 2/2 for a 3/3 is always appealing. Our only play this turn really is to cast the Inspired Charge, which should be pretty good. They don't have much mana up, so we should be able to catch something. Trade for either this or this. Not trade, sorry, trade this card for one of them, not... Okay. bit annoying using like a mass pump for a single creature. I'm hoping, obviously, to draw a land, cast one of our 2 5-drops. Both would be great here. This figure is absolutely acceptable. I'll take that one, or rather I'll kill that one. Pass. I can pretty much give up hope of this being 25 or more, which means it's basically a flying 2/2, so... Whoa, we're close to being dead. I had not twigged how close we were to being dead. Whoa. Yeah, we're in some trouble here. Good lord. That spiraled out of control. I thought we were in a reasonable spot. That double block obviously looked really bad in retrospect. But yeah, I nearly always call in those situations, make them have something, because those attacks happen all the time under suspicious circumstances, shall we say. It's entirely plausible that people in other countries at lower temperatures are making better decisions than me, and I'm going to keep blaming the environment because I'm British and it's what we do. We moan about weather. We're notorious for it. Tired and jaded. I know the feeling, mate. This hand is fine. We appear to... No, we're not on the play. I just can't use the client. Well, 4th land is good. Double of each colour is good. We should be fine. Ooh. Don't love the opponent having mana acceleration, and obviously we can't pacifism to stop it making mana, so we probably have a 4-drop incoming. Traditionally, casting 4-drops on turn 3 on the play is a good thing. That's how you Llanowar Elves. Okay, 2 2-drops instead, maybe. Well, that went as unbadly as it could have. And I'm going to make the same attack. I'm going to offer this up because it has lifelink, so it's free if they block here. I don't mind trading if they block there. So yeah, we just gain 2, basically. And having made that attack, it won't look suspicious when I do it again next turn, but I have the Fathom Fleet Cutthroat to finish something off. So I sort of doing... Oh, well, now it will. You can't really do that. I suppose I could pacifism that and then go for it next turn. We'll see. Opponent using the emotes weirdly. This has vigilance, so we're going to get in. Gain some more life. And now we can make the not suspicious at all attack next turn. This card is ludicrously good in standard. It took me a while to realise how scared of it I should be. The answer is fully. So we're attacking with everybody. They can't block with their 5/4, but I think they can. Okay. So opponent very wisely doesn't put the Spitfire in the way, because I would love to kill that thing with a Cutthroat. Yeah, I'll have a counter. On my lifelinker, no less. How about that for luxury? This has gone quite well for me. I'm just going to obviously play out another land. We've got perfect mana to cast every card in our deck now, because we've got double black, triple white, and nothing costs more than 5, so we're all set. Everybody needs a comically large water glass, well, beer glass, on a day like this. Don't drink beer on a day like this. That's asking for trouble. I got a bit tipsy earlier in the week on a super hot day, and that was like the worst night's sleep I've ever had. I think I'm just going to attack. If they have a trick, they have a trick. If they don't, then it's a great attack. This gets pumped if I'm dealt non-combat damage. Okay. Well, I don't mind trading a pump for a creature. I'm just going to pass. I think we're slightly ahead. That's good, because if they have a pump again, we get to keep our guy alive and set up our next draw step to be something better than a basic plains or a 2/2. So opponent makes the logical block. We're just going to hold the God's Willing if they don't do anything, because there's no point blowing it for a scry. We'd rather have basically a counter spell for a removal. Perfect. We'll attack again. Same attack as last time. They make the same block as last time. Make a 4/4, which is pretty great right now. And we've still got 1 up for God's Willing, so I'm not playing out another planes. I want them to think there's stuff in my hand when actually it's mostly blank. Cool, that game went quite well. So we're starting to... The green shoots of recovery are springing up in the barren, scorched English earth. I've seen so many unhealthy trees recently. It's really sad. I was boring my friend to tears on the way to Birmingham, because we were going to see a band, and the streets were paved with dying monkey puzzle trees, which I'm quite a fan of, and it was making me sad. This hand is also making me sad. Oh, this sucks. I have to keep this. I go first as well. That really sucks. So I've got black, but I don't think I'm anywhere near getting 5, so I think I'm going to bottom that. I think it's more likely I draw 1 plains than I draw 3 lands. That was the reasoning behind that. Yeah, I was boring my friend to tears with chat about monkey puzzle trees, so now I'm doing the same to you. It's a noble tree, and does not deserve to be pot bound or scorched. This is the type of quality content you don't get from other Magic creators. They all want to talk about card games and strategy, and nobody cares about the trees. Opponent is already ahead. We're looking alright. We're sort of curving out a bit. Next turn we get to play the Angel, chip in, unless of course they play like a 1/3 or something, and then we're sort of neutered. Oh, looking alright, looking alright. So at the moment my inclination is to play the Axe and hold up God's Willing. Okay. That's funny. I don't normally main deck negates in limited. I might play 1. So it's a bit frustrating to have my main long-term way to use mana caught out that way. Okay. I suppose that's just a rebuy ETBs. It's a weird effect. We're just going to keep putting pressure on, and hopefully opponent is going to spend so much time faffing around with this that they're just going to be dead. That's my entire plan. They must commit a creature to the board at some point, surely. That counts, I guess. That does count. Hopefully we get to untap and have God's Willing up and they don't just play a removal spell now. Yeah, that's pretty great. So I'm just going to keep applying the pressure. I wonder if they'll block. This is a sorcery only, right? So they can't just... Yeah, they can't block and then pop it back up. That would be a bit obnoxious. The reason I didn't play the Cutthroat out is I wanted God's Willing available. And the clock is still 2 turns either way, so it's 5 points. Okay, why are they... This is... The opponent's deck is weird, they're playing really narrow cards. Oh, happy days. That looks like lethal. Well, we're going to go for it. Probably lose the game, but they've only got 2 cards in hand, they might just be dead. Oh, they're just dead. Sweet. That went well. That's when you want to draw your Inspired Charge, on the turn when you can exactly cast it and it exactly kills them. Obviously, it was incredibly clever of me to draw it then, and I get all the credit. Well, we're making a... We're having a go at making a comeback, shall we say. We've recouped two measly wins. I generally like to get myself into a position where I can draft again, which I think is 6 wins. But it doesn't always work out that way, as you can see from the way this started, which was bad. Oh, we're paired up against a mighty Platinum, so we should be suitably impressed. His hand is reasonable. Couple of okay removals, couple of creatures, some card draw, more to the point. Card draw is great. I would have loved another one of these, that would have been really good in our deck. Oh, another great draw. That's brilliant, because if they don't play a creature for us to pacifism, or indeed a creature that we want to pacifism, then we still get to use our mana and develop a board and stuff. And pretty happy with that. There's no point pacifisming that, because it is still going to trigger. So we're just going to play out our own one. Start getting ahead on board, basically. Start trying to apply a bit of pressure. We appear to be playing a pseudo mirror. That one's worth dealing with. I'm going to play this out. I'm not going to attack. If that gets buffed, then I've got this for it, which is a permanent solution. And if it doesn't get buffed, okay, what's this? Okay, that's pretty good. I wonder if they've got anything. They have. Nice. Good for them. Oh, we've got the combo. We've got Blood for Bones and the Skeleton. Okay. Going to pacifism that and make some attacks. Okay, I really wanted to hit a land. Yeah, I think that is correct of opponent to block there. I'm going to make another skeleton. And then we've got this. This puts 1 on the battlefield and 1 into your hand, so... Don't know why opponent didn't attack with the flyer, but I'm pretty sure I just play that out. Get my trigger. Gonna do some attacking. Yeah, we're happy with that trade because we've now got targets for Blood for Bones. That's the main thing, and as good as Corpse Knight is, it's still trading up with a 3/2 3-mana creature. I don't think that card is good. But ooh. Well, the good news is we've got Blood for Bones, and therefore Mind Rot isn't that good. So I'm going to get back onto the battlefield, the big boy, into my hand this guy, and I'm not attacking. So we have a little combo here with the War Chief and the Thief, whereby this triggers this. Oh. Opponent is presenting a reasonable clock now. This is less good. I don't know why. I still don't understand why they're not attacking. Well, I'm going to make a very suspicious attack and see if we can get some blocks. And if they don't block, then we'll just play out some creatures. So we're happy either way. As far as I'm concerned, this looks mighty suspect. So I don't really care about dealing a couple of extra points. I'll just play this out. And I honestly think we'd be doing real bad if opponent was attacking with these. I don't know why they're not. That's good here. That is good. I'm just going to attack with the Thief, get my trigger, draw a card. Hopefully they single block with like a zombie token or something, and then we get to punk them out with the Inspired Charge. But was that better than just resolving this? I'm going to go for getting my big thing into play. I'm going to upgrade my skeleton into a 3/3, and then I can buy the skeleton back. So that's quite a nice little sequence. Next turn we can do something like play the burglar and then grab one of these back. So we're able to make some good attacks now. Opponent should be attacking with the flyers, and I'm stunned that they're not. I don't know what that's about. I feel like this game would not be going as well if they were. I might even be dead. Caro, you coward. Either way, we're going to start beating down next turn. Finally. Okay, that's suspicious. Yeah. That was very weird. Unless they've got some way of rebuying that now. Maybe they've got a Blood for Bones. They're going to sack this. Oh, sure. fair enough. That makes some sense. Well, I don't think I'm making any attacks. And at the end of the turn I'm just going to buy back a skeleton, but I'm not going to do it earlier because I need God's Willing up in case they do anything too scary. Maybe I should have seen that Cutthroat coming because it's a card I know about, it's in my own deck. That attack was mighty suspicious, but I thought it was like a pump spell. I couldn't think of any pump spells that would have got me. Opponent is finally attacking as they should. Odd timing. Oh no, very logical timing. Nearly kills me. I don't know how I get out of this actually. Well, 2 removal spells obviously, but sure. That won't do it. And nor will that. Yeah, I'm dead. That's sad. Well, there we go. One very disappointing draft plus a bit of gameplay. Not sure what I could have done differently, really. It's a bit, yeah, bit of a sad one. Do we get any kind of compensation from the arena prize distribution gods? Not really. It's a beautiful piece of art, but I don't like the card. Oh well. So there we are. That's the end of the video. So yeah, we went 2 and 3 with black-white mid, like aggro mid-range, kind of low curve removal. Didn't feel like there were any games apart from the one where we won at a canter, where we really drew things on time, if you know what I mean. It all kind of felt a little bit clunky. So maybe in another universe the same deck would have gone a little bit better. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.